What a spooky morning. Look at this fog or mist or whatever. I don't really know what to classify it as. Yeah, look at this stuff, man. Anyways, welcome to a video where I talk about books I got at a local used bookstore. Yay! Good morning, folks. And yeah, I am here with another book video. Today we are talking about 3 books I found at a bookstore, a used bookstore called Lizz's Used Books. It's located in Fenton, Michigan, and it's a good little hole in the wall. I like it. I also just drank some pop with my medicine, and I ate some crazy breadsticks, so I might be a little indigested. I apologize. But without further ado, let's just hop into this video. So the first book I have is Out of the Depths. Now this is more science fiction than it is horror. In fact, I don't think this is horror at all. And I mean, just looking at that color, you're like, yeah, that's science fiction. Old science fiction. It's by John Wyndham. A deadly invasion from beyond the solar system, out of the depths. Or, no, my bad. Out of the deeps. My bad. I thought it said depths. My bad. Anyways, 4/5 of Earth's surface is water. Or, who could know what menace might one day come forth from out of the deeps? Alright, here's the synopsis. When a deep-sea probe investigating unexplained ship sinkings disappeared, people began to get nervous. When the authorities resorted to depth bombing in retaliation against the unseen menace, the situation turned critical. Aliens attacked. First, there was a worldwide blockade of the oceans. Then an invasion of islands and low-lying shorelines by creatures man had never seen before and didn't believe existed. Then man fought back, and the alien assault was repelled. At least that's what everyone wanted to believe. Dun dun dun. Only wild-eyed doomsayers, Bakker for one, became alarmed at the dense fogs that began forming in the north, at the unprecedented number of icebergs pressing in from the poles, at the slow rise in the world's sea levels. Dun dun dun. And speaking of fog, man, this fog is crazy this morning, or mist, or whatever it is. Yeah. Alright. That book looked very interesting to me. I actually went there a few months ago, and I wanted to buy that book that I just told you guys about. And I was like, no, I can't just snap at it. I can't just go buy it, you know? I didn't know why I couldn't go and just buy it, but in the end, I went back and got it, so. Alright, next is Ray Garton's Loveliest Dead. So this book was, it was easy to get the sticker off this book. Not so much easy to get out of the deeps sticker off. This out of the deeps had a sticker on it for a long time, I'm guessing, and it just kind of wouldn't come off. But I eventually got it off without damaging the book. But anyways, this one, the sticker was able to come off pretty easily, relatively easy. Now I don't know if The Loveliest Dead is like a sequel to the Live Girls. I don't think it is. But still, there's a quote up here from Richard Lehman saying, Garton never fails to go for the throat. And the one book I've read by Ray Garton, that's pretty accurate. So let's read the synopsis. To most people, it's just a large house, old and a bit run down. To the Keller family, it's a new start, a chance to wipe out the painful past and begin again. But soon it will become a living nightmare. The terrors began before the Kellers have even finished unpacking. They hear things, see things, shadowy glimpses into the impossible things that are there, and then gone. Who are the mysterious children playing on the rusty vine-covered swing set in the backyard? Who is the figure sitting in the dark corner of the bathroom at night? Who or what waits them in the basement? They are the dead, and they cannot rest. Horror stalks the halls of the Keller house, and the secrets of the past are reaching from behind the grave, or beyond the grave, to destroy the living. Dun dun dun! So yeah, that's Ray Garton's The Loveliest Dead. And it's a big chunker. This comes in at 372 pages, whereas Out of the Deeps, I forgot to tell you guys, that one comes in at, oh, let's see here, 182 pages. Okay, last book, and probably my favorite find. I recently bought the newer paperback version of this, and I might already own this paperback, but I found Gord Rollo's book Crimson at Lizz's used bookstore, and I was like, yeah, I have to grab that, because it's a coming-of-age story. And if you don't know anything about coming-of-age stories and myself, you probably don't know if you haven't watched my channel often, but honestly, people who watch or are subscribers of my channel know how much I adore coming-of-age stories. So, Crimson by Gord Rollo, I believe, is a coming-of-age story. I'm almost 100% sure and positive that it is, because I believe Gord Rollo himself told me it was. So, let me read the synopsis. And, yeah. So, it says here, there's a few quotes, like blurbs. Like, here's one for Brian Knight, author of Dragonfly. Just give him a few pages. If Crimson doesn't hook you, then you're already dead. And then on the back, Crimson is Stephen King's It, superior in every possible way. Ooh, now that is a blurb. Holy crap. And then there's also one here, FioAmante.com. Those first 3 pages were the most intense prologue I have ever read. The deep red glow of the Crimson makes the other books seem pale by comparison. 5 out of 5 stars. And then here's one from Brian Keene, author of, well, they list the books he wrote as Ghost Walk and Castaways, but I like him from the stories Darkness at the Edge of Town, which is fantastic. That's got to be one of his best books. Also, Ghoul was a good book. That's a coming-of-age story. I've read a lot of good coming-of-age stories. So, Ghoul wasn't my favorite particularly. It might have been the sexual abuse to the one kid was just, I don't know, maybe not the most believable. I don't know why I struggled with it. Maybe it's because of my history, but yeah, I couldn't really believe the trouble the one kid was going through. It just didn't seem 100% believable, but that's really the only problem I had. The whole book Ghoul was pretty good. I gave it like 3 or 4 stars, so it's not a bad book. It's just not my favorite coming-of-age story. Now, if I read that before I read all the other coming-of-age stories I read, it's probably going to be the best coming-of-age story I've ever read. But I read so many good coming-of-age stories that it's almost crazy. I've read more than 20 coming-of-age stories, and I remember once before we talk about Crimson, I'll just talk about this real quick. I remember once I was on Instagram and I posted my top 20 favorite coming-of-age stories, and someone responded to me with, "Oh, but they're all men," and I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, first of all, one, I'm a man, and coming-of-age stories I relate to are usually written by men. So, and also the majority of people who write coming-of-age stories are men. Horror stories, that is. Coming-of-age horror stories. And I had to elaborate on that, but the person called me out with their woke, suggestions, I guess. And, or I'm not thinking really clearly this morning, I apologize, but nothing wrong with being woke, I guess. But, they kind of came at me for, not listing any women. Well, guess what? Summer Never Ends, I think it's what it's called, by Judith Sonnet. That's a great coming-of-age story, and she knocks it out of the park with that book. So totally, you know, go check that one out. But that's in my top 20 now. So now I finally have a she on my coming of age list. But anyways, that's kind of a tip. That's just kind of off topic. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even gotten into it. But I did want to talk about Crimson by Gord Rollo because this book is fantastic. I haven't read it yet, but I already am hyped for it because I've read Peeler by Gord Rollo. That was I think that's my last review I've done is Gord Rollo's Peeler. And I'm actually doing a Cow Shark book review soon. I just have to record it. I might do that today. But anyways, Crimson by Gord Rollo. He wrote another book called The Jigsaw Man. And another book called... what was it called? I can see the cover. It's got like a... it's like a curtain with a guy peeking out of the curtain. It's like all about Strange Magic, I think is what it's called. Strange Magic, maybe? By Gord Rollo. Anyways, Peeler is actually a short novella based off, or novelette, whatever, based off of that novel. So I really want to check that one. I don't think I have Strange Magic, and I don't think I have Jigsaw Man, or The Jigsaw Man, which is kind of like a Frankenstein type book, I think. I'm not really sure. I did see a review about The Jigsaw Man once on YouTube by, I think it was, what was her name? Sorry if I'm butchering this, but I think it was Magpie Reviews, I think, did the review that I'm talking about. Anyways, Gord Rollo is the man. His book Peeler was great. And he keeps telling me, if you're into extreme horror, my other books aren't really that extreme. And I'm like, dude, I'm into lots of things. I'm not just into extreme horror. I'm into coming of age stories. And he's like, well, you're going to love Crimson. So here I am. So let's read the back of this, shall we? The synopsis. The small town of... Let me redo that. The small town of Dunville is no stranger to fear. Excuse me. Evil has stalked its dark streets once before, 20 years ago, leaving in its wake a legacy of blood and madness. These days, no one in the town likes to talk about it much. Some folks deny it ever happened. But four boyhood friends are about to discover the truth, though no one will believe them. Their parents think they've been listening to too many scary stories, but what the boys have released from the icy well is no legend. It's very real indeed, and it will soon terrify Dunville to its very core. Unspeakable horror is running free, and the nightmares of the past are about to begin again. Also, I'm a little sick, so I apologize. I'm like really sick lately. I think it's because I was in the sun for too long. I got a really bad burn on my arms. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably more prevalent on the other arm. But I've been a little out of it. And of course, it happens right on my 5 days off, right? I get 5 days off and now I can't do anything because I'm sick. But anyways, this is Crimson by Gord Rollo. And if it holds true that the first 3 pages are going to hook you in, I might start reading this very soon. Because this book comes in at 326 pages. It's a pretty long coming-of-age story. I wish the first page wasn't ripped. Actually, the first few pages are ripped. I didn't notice that. Why are they ripped? Oh my god, how many pages are ripped? Okay, so all the way up to chapter 1, it's got this tear in it, which I did not see. I don't know if you could see that. Hold on. So it's got these like tears in it. That's kind of unfortunate. But I got another copy, I think, upstairs, which is going to be my reading copy. Or maybe I'll read this one. I like this. I like the small paperbacks, you know? There's something about the small little, these ones, that I just adore holding in my hand. It also makes my hand look gigantic because I got a big hand, you know? So I could just like hold this in one hand. It's really nice. Whereas most books you gotta hold with 2 hands, so not very fun. But anyways, those are the books I got at Lizz's used bookstore. I'm very excited for them. They are awesome books. Gordorolo's looks the best, if I have to say so myself. This is the most interesting find. And then this one is just Ray Garden. I mean, what can you say about Ray Garden? He's awesome. I loved Live Girls. Live Girls was great. Something about it just really... how do I word this? I was going to say turned me on to vampires, but probably turned on isn't the right verbiage. Or whatever. But yeah, I got really into vampires for a while there after reading Live Girls. Then I think later on I read Judith Sonnet's vampire book, which I loved. There's a few authors that are kind of coming up the ranks for me, and Judith Sonnet's one of them. She's amazing, and I can't wait to read more of her writing. What else is there to say here? It's really a spooky morning because it's all foggy and misty. It's almost like I expect tentacle monsters to come out of the mist or fog and kind of come and grab my ankle or something, or leg, and drag me across the concrete. That'd be so cool. But at the same time, that would hurt, so I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have a spooky night, and I'll catch you in the next video.
You see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.